Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to the FAI Cup Preview Show, round of 8 at this stage. We've got 8 teams left. We're into the quarterfinals. We're really getting into the bones of this one. Delighted to be welcomed by Luke McQuillan. I'm Keith Fitzsimons. Luke, what's the crack?
All right, how are you?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad. We'll start off with Friday's games. There's 2 games on Friday. Treaty United and UCD. And I suppose when the draw was made, Luke, both teams would have been fairly happy with this one. Treaty, they're both seen as they're both the lower ranking teams, you could argue, in a sense. I know Waterford are there, but Waterford are a full-time professional team, which UCD aren't. You know what I mean? Well, UCD have been
Yeah,
going very well of late, to be fair, as well, very, very well. And I think both might have been happy enough with this draw as such. Treaty, obviously, fifth in the league in the first division. They look like a side that are going to be in the playoffs again, which is remarkable from Tommy Barrett. Part-time team, one of the lowest budgets in the first division, definitely in the bottom 3 for sure. And UCD will go there with a lot of confidence because results have been going well for them in the league. How are you seeing this one?
yeah. I think it's a good opportunity for UCD, to be honest. They're in a really good position now to get into a FAI Cup semi-final. 2 games away from the Aviva, and look, any of these games, and look, it's a cup, and we have had surprises, and there's been some really good games so far, and we've had some near surprises as well, which is good. Like, it's constantly giving us surprises as well, which is really good. So, yeah, look, you would fancy UCD here, the way they're going at the minute, but you cannot write Treaty United off either. And look, if Treaty United come in this, and they'll be into a semi-final, which would be unbelievable for them, considering their come up really, like, over the last sort of 2 years or so. So, yeah, look, they'll be delighted with where they got in the cup quarterfinal at the minute, and they will feel confident that they can, win this game. But I do fancy UCD just to see off Treaty United. But I think this has an opportunity to be a really good game, and I also think that UCD have got a fantastic opportunity to get into a semi-final here.
I suppose the other side of this, Luke, is that UCD will be favourites, which is unusual for them this season. It's unusual for them anyway, nearly, but especially this season. But they've got serious trash up front. And the last few weeks, we've seen 18-year-old Tommy Lonergan banging the goals. And Dylan Duffy has been performing quite while. Mightn't be as prolific as Lonergan, but they've got serious tread up there with the two of them. Sean Brennan playing well in midfield as well.
Yeah, no, they're doing well. Like, they've got serious attack, like, and it's just, they have lost Colin Whelan, obviously, and Liam Kerrigan early on in the season. Like, so for them, they will be delighted with where they are at the minute, and they're in a cup quarter final with a great chance of getting into a semi final. They've got a very favourable draw so far in the cup. For them, they've had a few. No, like, look, I don't think there's many easy games, but like, they obviously got Cockhill Celtic, and then they got through there against Galway, and now they're got a good opportunity against Treaty. So Galway was obviously a tough one, and they got through that one. But this one is arguably on paper probably not as tough, but I do still think that Treaty will pose a difficult threat.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the
Or
attackers,
make
Luke,
it
they
easy for
have.
UCD.
Some of the
And the
attackers, Luke,
Curran and
they
that,
have as
yeah.
well. Exactly. Yeah.
So they do have some really good players there as well, Treaty. So look, I think it depends what defense is going to hold up, because I think there will be goals in this game. So if UCD can hold off the like the end of Curran and that, then you'd fancy UCD. But if they can give Treaty an early goal and give Treaty confidence, then that could really kick them on. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 UCD win.
I'm going to go the other way. 2-1 Treaty. A mini surprise,
Woo!
maybe. Mini surprise, I think, maybe. Yeah, I think they might do it at home in front of their home crowd. And, physically, they'll be a threat. So it'll be an interesting one. It could go either way, as you say. And UCD are definitely favourites. I just sense Treaty might get through, but I'm probably wrong. The other big game on Friday night sees Waterford FC take on Dundalk. And at the moment, Waterford are 6-1 while we're shooting this video. And, I think they're worth a flutter nearly because, Waterford, when they come up against these sides, as they proved at Richmond Park and St. Patrick's Athletic, that they can be a threat. Sometimes they struggle to break teams down that defend deep and resolutely. Dundalk won't be doing that against Waterford because for a start, Dundalk will be expected to go and try and win the game and have the possession. I often think at times with Waterford, they're better in the counter-attack, and it's not too often they can play counter-attack in football in the first division, if we're honest about it. The likes of Phoenix Patterson Jr., Wazim has obviously come in, but we've seen Uche score his first goal for the club as well. Spanish striker the other day, so he might start. That'll be an interesting one as well. they've got good players. I still think they have a lot of Premier Division players, the likes of O'Keefe in midfield, very, very good
Yeah,
player as well. And just the way what Dundalk have been going for me, this is a big, big test for them actually. Test their character, test their bottle, because they are favourites with the bookies, obviously. But a lot of people like myself be looking at it going, there could be an upset here. They're going to have massive support down there at the RSC as well. They had massive support against Cork the other day as well. And they're riding on a little bit of a crest of a wave a little bit with Andy Piley taking over and stuff like that at this minute in time. But
yeah.
big test for Dundalk here. And as I said, they're expected to have a lot of the ball. I can see Waterford taking them on the counter attack. I don't know how you see this one.
Yeah, that's a tough one to call, to be honest, because I do feel like Waterford could win this game. I fancy them with this whole so-called narrative of the high line. But I also think that the way that they'll approach this game is, will they give Dundalk time on the ball? Yes, probably will. They'll probably let Dundalk play. But I also feel like when they do win the ball back from Dundalk, that they've got to catch them on that high line and use the pace they have in behind with the likes of Patterson and all, and the wingers, and obviously up front as well. They've got some serious talent. So, very tough one to call this one. Dundalk just need to improve, I think, defensively and probably offensively as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they seem to, they are lacking a few goals, obviously, as well. Like, I know they got 2 against UCD, but their defence wasn't good enough that night as well. And, UCD did score some good goals. But, if Dundalk have approached this game the way they've approached the last few games, then it could be a tough night for them. But, I do fancy, I don't know, like, this is a very tough one to call. I don't know. I don't really know. I think Waterford are going to shade this one. I'm going to say Waterford are going to win on penalties, to be honest.
I think they might as well. I think they might shade it as well. And they could go to penalties. And I think the fact is, I just find it difficult to see big improvements in Dundalk. They're going to have to be better than they have been, to be honest with you, in recent weeks. Because Waterford, on their day, they tend to be, when they come up against a big team like this, at Dundalk, at Pats there in the last rounds or whatever, that's when they seem to perform to their best. And if they perform to their best, and Dundalk are still shaky, I think Dundalk are in a bit of bother here. But you're right about offensively as well. We keep talking about defensively. They're all over the place, and they are. But without Hooban, they're very, very blunt, seemingly. And not just in terms of goals, but in terms of creating opportunities. And Hooban's a big game player as well. So who are they looking to? Like, you know what I mean? You're looking at players like Ryan O'Kane, who's actually been playing very well, but you're putting all the pressure on a youngster who's only, 18, Ryan O'Kane, I believe. So, you've got Stephen Bradley. And to be fair, Bradley's a good player, but he's a bit inconsistent for me, to be honest with you. He kind of, you know what I mean? He flitters in and out of games, but he kind of goes in runs of, 4 or 5 games he's good, and then 4 or 5 games he's not so good, basically. So you're looking at your Macmillans and players like that, and John Martins to really step up to the plate. In the last few weeks, I don't think they've really done that.
No, they haven't, and it is a bit of a problem at the minute with Dundalk. Like, obviously we keep talking about the defence and all, and everyone's talking about the defence, but they are missing that ruthlessness up top. Like, like they are. You can see they are missing. That fella who's going to get in there and get that killer goal. You know what I mean? It was going to be lethal in front of the goal, and they are missing that, to be honest. And Hooban, obviously, I don't think Macmillan is. I think Macmillan is just, you know what I mean? I don't really think he's up to that anymore, to be honest. Look, he was an excellent player for Dundalk, but is he up to that level where Dundalk want to be? You know what I mean? At that top half of the table, I don't think so. I've no doubt that he's a good striker, but at this moment in time, with the way Dundalk want to play and the energy that Dundalk want to bring into their play, the way O'Donnell wants to, have it that play, I don't think Macmillan suits that. But when you've got someone like Pat Hooban in there, you know what I mean? That killer instinct in front of the goal, like, you know what I mean? It is a big loss. And when you take his goals out of a team, it does hurt, you know what I mean? Even the others, like, you know what I mean? It's tough, but you can't be putting pressure on the likes of Ryan O'Kane because, he's such a good player, but he's still so raw, like, you know what I mean? So raw, like, so young and that. So he's only 18 years of age, as you said. So he's doing really well though. But they could deal with that bit of experience at the minute. You know what I mean? Especially at this part of the season when you're playing in cup games and important league games. You know what I mean? You need that level head up front, basically. But they don't seem to have that at the minute.
Yeah, I think we're both going for Waterford, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Dundalk are definitely winning out. So good news for Dundalk fans. On Sunday we've got the obviously big North London or North London, hear me, North Dublin derby.
Whoa.
But all this talk about English
Arsenal Tottenham.
football is getting to us, Luke. It's not a North
I
London
know.
derby; it's a North Dublin derby, and Shelbourne take on Bohemians at Talca Park. And it's a strange one. Bows obviously haven't been great this season, but they've had Shelbourne's number. They've beaten them 3 times and they've drawn once in the league already this
Yeah.
season. This is the third time they're going to Talca Park. And although it was a draw the last time they met at Talca Park, Shelbourne would have been the ones more disappointed with it, the way they played on the night and on the day. They'll be, they'll be looking at, obviously it's an opportunity for them to get into the semi-finals, but they'll feel like they owe Bows one as well. And what better to get it, knock them out, beat them for the first time this season, let's say, knock them out, get to an FAI Cup semi-final. And after that, you just don't know. Bows, obviously, Derek Pender, it looks like he's going to be still in charge. So my attitude with Bows was, if they're not going to bring in a full-time manager, let's say, before the Cup game against Shells, it's likely they'll probably leave it till the end of the season. And an awful lot
I think
resting
they
this
are going
game.
to.
Whoever loses this game, let's be honest, their season is over where they are in the league. And so it's a massive game, massive North Dublin derby. It's a quarter final. There's a lot riding on it for both sides. Bows might be a little bit confident, feeling like they've Shelbourne's number. Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I do. I do think Shells have a good chance here as well. I think both teams have a good chance. You know what I mean? I think both teams are capable of beating each other. Look, I know the league and that might say different, but on their day, I think either team can beat each other. I think this isn't a straightforward game for either. So, yeah, it's a very interesting one. It's probably the most interesting tie out of them all, to be honest. Apart from maybe Derry and Rovers might come close to it, but I think this one is one to keep an eye on, because I think whoever comes through this one is definitely going to be a dark horse for it. You'd sort of have them nearly second favourite, really, like, wouldn't you? Whoever comes out of this one, like, it's going to be an interesting tie. Shelbourne, it's been like, you can see their season is definitely starting to filter out. You know what I mean? It's probably going to be, but if they can go far in the cup, and like Damien Duff said at the start of the cup, he wants to go far in it. So if you can do that with Shelbourne, it's going to be a brilliant achievement for them. Do I think they could win the cup? They have a serious possibility if they can get through this one. You know what I mean? You're in the semi-final then, and you've got a good opportunity. So yeah, it's a big game, huge game. Obviously, Bows, we've had their questions about them this season. We don't really need to discuss them because we've discussed it so much, to be honest. But they'll want to improve and keep improving. You know what I mean? It was definitely improved performance against Derry. They played very well against Rovers the week before that. So it's about getting a win here and getting into a cup semi-final, because they'll want to. I feel like they'll be still. There's not many of the squad there from last season from the cup final, but as a club they'll still be hurting from last year, from that cup final. So they'll want to get into a cup final this year, and they'll want to take that extra step further. You know what I mean, to win it. But I don't think they will. But I do think that if they can win here, it does give them that opportunity. So it's a very interesting game, but. Yeah, it's definitely one I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. But do you know what? I'm going to go with Shelbourne here.
It's a strange one, yeah, because I'm thinking while you're talking there and I'm trying to come to a conclusion in my own head. And I've seen most of those Shelbourne and Bows games, actually. And it's weird because Shelbourne are generally more physical than Bows. And usually when teams put it up but the Bows physically, they beat them. But Shelbourne haven't beaten them in the 4 games. Now, they were unlucky, I still think, at Talca Park the last time. You'd wonder if Bows got the man sent off, or Shells hadn't the man sent off, and that Shells would have went on to win the game, to be honest with you. I think that's why I felt the last time. So they're getting closer. That's the worry for Bows, because from a Bows point of view, you're probably thinking, God, they're bound to beat us at some point, and this could be the point. Ledwidge and Luke Byrne were left out of their last league game, and technically they could have played, I think, but they didn't play them. So that shows where their head was at. They really focus on this cup game. Whereas Bowles will be hoping that that new manager or manager sacking bounce is still in play as such, because it was a decent performance against one of the best teams in the league, and they'd beaten Shamrock Rovers. So they played the 2 best teams in the league, and they got 3 points and were beaten narrowly and won.
Yeah,
so it's a difficult one. I think if this was a few weeks ago and Keith Long was still in charge, I'm definitely going with Shells. But this is the one where I'm kind of going, I might as well toss a coin, to be honest. But the fact that Shells haven't beaten Bows this season, and I feel they might get there, I think I'm edging Shells towards this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I can see why. To be honest, like it's like I'm just thinking what the crowd's going to be like in Tolka, the atmosphere, the Shells fans are going to be right behind them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think that's why just going to get them through it. To be honest, and you've still got Shells with so much quality in that. You know what I mean? At the top end of the pitch,
Mm.
you mentioned there Luke Brennan, Ledwidge not playing against Sligo the other night. So yeah, you can see they definitely have one eye on this game, and they'll want to go into this, and they're going to want to be full blooded from the start in this game and going straight in and give them Bows absolutely nothing. But yeah, it's an opportunity for both teams to really lay a marker and lay a statement on the cup. Do you know what I mean? And they'll both want to do it. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this game, to be honest. But yeah, I do fancy Shells. I'm gonna go 1-0. To be honest, I don't think there's gonna be many goals in this game.
I think it could go all the way to penalties, even or extra time or something. But I'm going to be at this game as well, so I'm looking forward to it. Final game is Derry City and Shamrock Rovers at the Brandywell, and when the draw was made, I think both teams would have been a bit disappointed, let's say, with the draw. Strangely, we've talked about how Derry have been at home this season and they've been better away, and that's true. But they've played Rovers twice this season at the Brandywell, funnily enough, and they've beaten Rovers and drawn against Rovers, which is interesting. So 4 points they've taken off them at the Brandywell. So, Derry should be going into this game with a bit of confidence. Bear in mind that Shamrock Rovers had that European tie out in Belgium, and they'll be coming back from that. So I know Derry have a game tonight, as this video will be going out Wednesday. So Derry would have played that league game, in case people are wondering. So we're actually doing this on a Tuesday evening at 5 o'clock, basically. So, but Derry still, once that game is over against Sligo, they can really prepare for that game on Sunday, and they're home again, obviously, as well. But obviously, Kieran Call will be out for this one. And there's a question mark about Diallo. We're not sure. He's 50-50 to make that game as well, yeah. So he picked up a knock. So it'll be interesting with that one as well. But obviously, Rovers, Lopez is out in that as well, but he's been out for a while and they've got serious quality. But the question is, this is a serious opportunity, you would have thought, for Derry City, to be fair, I think.
Oh, you would, but it's Shamrock Rovers though as well, which you have to bear in mind. You know what I mean? It's that's one thing. Like, you can Derry will be confident, and I think this game's on RT. I think this game is sold out as well, so I don't really think there can be any question marks over. Does putting games on telly affect the attendances at games? No, it doesn't.
Well, not for this game, Luke, to be fair, because there's a big FAI Cup quarter final between the two best teams in the league. But I think other games can do, say like Dundalk and Shells the other night. But anyway,
no, of course, I agree with you there. But I also feel like I don't think the weather helped that night, by the way. But I also feel like some of the other games I've watched on the telly this season, and they're relatively full. You know what I mean? Look, I know this is a completely different topic, but it is interesting. You know what I mean? But yeah, look, this game, look, you'd be confident if you're Derry, wouldn't you? But it's as well, if you're Shamrock Rovers, you'll be confident. It's a really intriguing tie because both teams are in really good positions, and as you said, Shamrock Rovers are heading to Belgium now to play against Ghent, and that's going to be a really interesting one as well. So I think I fancy. Oh, I don't know. Very tough one to say, but I'm gonna say Shamrock Rovers, and I think this one will go the whole way. I'm gonna say Rovers. I'm just gonna slightly edge it. I think just that little bit of quality. You know what I mean? I know Derry have it as well. So this is a tie that could go either way, and I don't think any result here would surprise me. Do you know what I mean? Which makes it a really, really intriguing game. So yeah, definitely one I'm looking forward to watching.
I sense Shamrock Rovers are going to grind it out. I think there'll be a bit of pressure on Derry in this game because people will be talking about what we're talking about, saying that Rovers are over and, mentally and physically. It's not just a physical thing. It's often a mental thing as well. They're over in Belgium, and they've had that game, and, it's not as bad as being in Eastern Europe. I get that. But even so, it's a mental thing as well. And I think that might bring a bit of pressure on Derry in many ways as well. And I just sense that Rovers might sneak it somehow, be it on extra time penalties, 1-0 or something like that in 90 minutes. But I do think, an easy thing to say, I know, but I'd be very surprised if the winner of this does not win the cup.
Yeah, well, you'd be very confident then, wouldn't you? Like, they'd be bookies' favourites, I'd say. You know what I mean? Whoever wins this one to win the cup, then look, Derry. The thing is with Derry now, they've got a really good opportunity. And look, I keep saying about Shells. I've said about Shells, said about UCD, who have opportunities to get into the semi-finals or whatever. But Derry will have, if they can beat Shamrock Rovers here, they're going to be in a great position, and you would fancy them in the semi-final against any of the teams I mentioned there. You know what I mean? And then you'd fancy them in the final against any of the other teams. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, Derry or Rovers, whoever win this one, are going to be definitely the team to beat in the cup. Because they're probably going to be in the Aviva come November, to be honest, and whether they'll be lifting the trophy, which obviously remains to be seen. So yeah, look, it's a big game. It's an absolute huge game I think it's a huge game for Derry season, to be honest. Derry have a great opportunity to end the season with silverware. And they would have been delighted with that if they can finish second and get the FAI Cup, or even I don't think they'll push Rovers for the league, but say in a mad world where Derry win the league and win the cup, do you know what I mean? You never know, but I do feel like Derry have a good opportunity here, but I do feel like Shamrock Rovers are just got that bit of, I've seen it with Rovers the last couple of weeks. Like, they're not playing great, but they're getting results. You know what I mean? And it's when they're doing it when they need to do it. Like that day against Drogheda is a prime example. Do you know what I mean? In the cup, didn't play that well. Drogheda done really, really well. Drogheda could have easily won that game. Rovers get a break and they score. Like, you know what I mean? And the rootlessness they have. So yeah, Rovers you gotta fancy them here as well, obviously. So I'm gonna say this one's gonna go straight to. I think this one's gonna go to penalties. To be honest, I think it's gonna be 0-0 in normal time, and I think Rovers gonna win it in penalties.
It's on TV, so put your money, lads, on it being 0-0, to be fair. But look,
Probably,
Luke,
yeah.
Thanks a million for coming on. Fair play to you. Enjoyed that. Guys at home, let us know what you think in the comments. Send us your predictions and thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Cheers, Luke.
Thank you.